Alright, thanks for checking out this video. This is going to be a little look at a couple of optics. We're going to be looking at the Spina 4x22 optics, like the little retro scopes that you might see on like Vietnam era builds and carry handles and stuff. They offer a couple of different options. You can get it with a direct to carry handle mount and a Picatinny mount. So we're going to take a look at both of these, compare them to my experience of what a couple of the other options are out there for these kinds of optics. But before we do, check this out. If you like my content that I put out, if you feel like supporting, consider checking out the links in the description and the pinned comment. You'll be able to find a link you can follow to my merch store where you can buy some channel merchandise, or to my buy me a coffee page where you can just donate whatever you like to help support the channel. Otherwise, just like and subscribe, hit the notification bell. Your support means a great deal to me. Okay, so Spina Optics. Who are Spina Optics? Pretty sure they're a Chinese optic manufacturer, possibly Taiwanese, can't remember. Probably says it in the instruction manuals in here somewhere. And they make optics for real steel firearms. You know, their stuff's apparently rated for real firearm calibers and stuff, but it's just on the more budget friendly side. They don't like clone anything, so their stuff just mostly looks like cheap, you know, optics. But I do think they actually have like an ACOP clone, as well as these little 4x20 scope clones, which I thought was pretty nifty. So these, like their other optics, are apparently rated for up to 308, I think it says, which is pretty interesting. I'm never going to need something that robust for my little gas blowback airsoft guns, but I guess it's handy to know that it's, you know, capable of withstanding the shock of real gunfire. A lot of people are into making like Vietnam era clones, and I think these carry handle optics from Spina are a really good option, mainly because they don't have a big logo on them. In general, I think Spina optics are a good option to go with for like something that's good quality, because it's you know, a real steel optic, but it's on the much cheaper side, much cheaper than buying like an EOTech or an Aimpoint or something like that, but you'll get a good amount of practicality out of it and it'll be relatively durable. You might not get the same sort of guarantee as on a Vortex or an Aimpoint or an EOTech, but it's, you know, you will get a certain level of robustness that you won't get from like a cheap airsoft clone of one of those optics, or just, you know, a cheap airsoft red dot. So as I said, we've got the carry handle mount one here that comes with a direct carry handle mount, so you just need to back out this screw. You can see I've got a bit of tape on it here. It's just to sort of mitigate any wiggle a little bit more. Pop it through your carry handle mount. I've got a little bit of tape, as you see, on the carry handle as well. Just, I don't know, it could probably do with coming off now. I think originally I didn't want to like mess up the finish too much, but I'm not really too bothered at this point anymore. You just thread it around like that. Can be a little bit fiddly, especially when you're trying to get it on camera to a certain extent. You just crank this round, and then bam, you've got like a cool retro optic setup for like your Mac VSOG loadout and whatnot. You know, 60s, 70s, 80s vibes, even 90s really, you could use this for. And yeah, and it's super cool. I will try and get a bit more of a close-up of the sight picture through this. But yeah, super easy to install, and you've not got to worry about it shifting under your gas blowback recoil, because it's apparently rated for real firearms. So there you go. So the other one with the pick mount is just, you know, can be mounted to any Picatinny rail. The reason why I wanted it was because in the Call of Duty Black Ops 1, this is what they call the ACOP. So on the Commando build, I use it. So it's just a QD mount. Can be a little bit fiddly, but pop it on the rail, clamp it into place, and you've got your lovely 4x20 scope on your rail. You might see, you know, like 2003 Fallujah M16A4s rocking something like this. Or again, yeah, the Black Ops Commando. If you're after a 4x20 or 4x22 carry handle scope, like this, there are a couple of other options, but I don't think they're as good. There are a couple of other options, but I think this is better. Now, the other ones I've had, and we're gonna be talking about the budget ones. Obviously buying like a real Colt one's probably gonna be a lot better, but I don't know how comfortable you'll be having that on top of your airsoft rifle and having people shooting at it. Brownells do one as well, but it's just as expensive as the Colt one. Or you can get one of the original Japanese ones. You can find them floating around, but they're very expensive. And actually the newer reproduction Colt ones are still made in their factories. So they're still made in those Japanese factories. I can't remember the name of it, but I'll get a picture up. So if you do get one of the repro Colt ones, you are essentially getting like the same factory and the same tooling making them as did back in the 60s. But if you want a budget friendly option, this Spina Optics one I think is the best. Now, the other options are a GMP one, so Airsoft company, GMP. They make another version that I used to have that I'll get a picture of up. And that was okay. It's got a slightly different sort of chassis and mounting system. It's kind of like all one piece. But I took that apart entirely. Like I took the turrets apart completely, unscrewed everything, all of the adjustment pieces, and pulled it apart until it was literally just a tube with glass on either end. And the sight picture was exactly the same. I don't know if it's maybe just the one I got, but yeah, I pulled it apart completely and it's exactly the same. I just gave that to a friend to use on his like clone build for an M16A1, and he uses it, I'm pretty sure, just as like a spotting scope. So he has it mounted up on his carry handle, but he can't really use it to take accurately aimed shots. Yeah, so that was kind of weird. The other one is the Vector Optics one. I'm pretty sure it was Vector Optics and not their sub company Vict Optics, but they similar thing. Like I couldn't get the adjustments to do anything. Now with that one, I didn't take it to the point of completely taking it apart to see if anything made any difference. I just remember the actual controls of it didn't do anything, and so I just got rid of it for quite cheap again. Practically gave it away because it wasn't working properly. Then I found these. These cost about 40 quid on Amazon, and when they come up on AliExpress, sort of 37, you know, free postage, so it's like very affordable. And I'm pretty sure the only difference between them is the mount, and I'm pretty sure you can get an adapter for the carry handle mount that just adds this Picatinny clamp to it. So you could just get one and then get the pieces to run both setups, but I have both because I like to be able to switch between them quickly. So, and I use them for different things. This does live on my Black Ops build a lot of the time, and this kind of just lives on this rifle most of the time. This or my M16. So yeah, they're budget friendly. They work. Like the controls on these are very good. They're very. So you've got this big chunky screw inside each one, and it turns quite easily. Like you can do it by hand like I am there. I am adjusting it, so I don't want to fiddle around with it too much. And that's your adjustment. It's this big screw, and it makes a big difference. You do have quite a big range of movement with with these turret controls, and I think that's really good. It's much better than the nothing that I got on the alternatives. You do have like a range sort of thing here. I'm not really too sure what this does. I think it just sort of focuses the lens. So you've got your white dot showing you where you're at. So 1 to 200, 300 yards, 400 yards, and then 500 yards. It's very nice. It's finished really nice. And yeah, as I said, like what I really like about this is it doesn't have any logo on it. The Vict Optics one had a big white logo on it, which was quite crap. whereas these don't. The glass on these as well is also super clean, super clear, much clearer than the other two options I've mentioned, and I find the eye relief is much more forgiving. So you've got about this much eye relief, I guess, whereas on the other two I had to get quite a lot closer to them to get a clear sight picture. And then, as I said, the glass on these is super crystal clear, and they are really practical, really good options for running like a retro style scope, or, you know, incorrect ACOG from Black Ops 1. So yeah, just a quick little video there showcasing these pretty cool optics choices and a little bit about Spina Optics. I think they are worth your money really if you want an airsoft optic, an optic for your airsoft gun that's good quality, rated for real firearms apparently, and not just like a cheap crappy airsoft optic clone that will break if it's shot, or will lose 0 if you're using a gas blowback rifle or electric recoil rifle. Thanks for checking out the video. If you made it all the way to the end, thank you very much, you're the best. Like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you get notified when I upload a new video. Check out the links to buy me a coffee and the merch in the pinned comment and description of the video. And yeah, thanks for checking out the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.